Howdy everyone, Stéphane here on the French Cooking Academy. Look at this, it is asparagus bonanza on the market because these beauties are in season. I've got white asparagus and green one, and today we're going to learn how to make a new sauce to accompany these beautiful things. Usually we will make a hollandaise, but today the sauce is called the sauce Fleurette. It's a derivative of the hollandaise, and best of all, we can make that sauce in a one-pot fashion. So let's get to your pans and let's cook. So welcome back everyone. The recipe of the day is asperge sauce fleurette. So remember, like I said before, that sauce is a base of hollandaise sauce, which is a mother sauce. And for a bit of history, if you wonder why the hollandaise is called the hollandaise sauce, which means the Dutch sauce, because it was invented under the reign of Louis XIV during the Franco-Dutch conflict back in the days. So at this time, Louis XIV decided to ask to have a sauce that would be lighter than the old-fashioned sauce that were really fattening. But still, a hollandaise is made of egg yolks, as you can see here, and mostly butter. And now we're gonna add cream. So if that considers a light sauce, well, I can't imagine what the other sauce were like. But anyway, here are the ingredients we're going to need. Very simple. I'm going to use a mix of white asparagus, green ones, and for the sauce fleurette, we're going to use 1 egg yolk, some lemon juice, cold butter, some heavy whipping cream or full cream, full fat cream, a bit of salt, pepper, and cayenne pepper. That's all what we need. And now let's start the recipe. So as always, we always start with the thing that takes the longest time, and this is cooking the asparagus. Big pot with plenty of water and 12 grams of salt per liter. So don't be shy with the salt. And we're going to bring this to the boil, and while this is warming up, we're going to peel our asparagus. Okay, so as soon as the water is on the stove and it's boiling away, we have to peel the asparagus. Now this part here is what you keep, that's the asparagus head, and we need to remove a thin layer of skin. So the best is to have the asparagus flat on a chopping board like this, and with your peeler, and we're gonna go like that, applying a little bit of pressure. You don't want to apply too much pressure, otherwise half of the asparagus is gonna go. So as you can see, I've started here. It's always the same method of peeling. A bit of pressure, and you do one strip at a time. When you train and when you begin like this, you see? And I turn the asparagus and I do one strip. One strip there, I turn, and you repeat the process all around the asparagus. So you go slow at the beginning, and when you're more confident, you can actually accelerate. Now as soon as your asparagus are peeled, you make sure that they head at the same level, and we're going to try to tie them in a bunch. So I'm never very good at this, so try to adjust them together, and you have to do 3 turns basically in front, 1, 2, 3, and after that 3 turns in the back, 1, 2, 3. And then have the string over like that and tie the whole lot together. Once you're done, of course, you're gonna cut the bit here, and you have something that is more or less tidy, and that's for the cooking. Is gonna help to have everything cooked the same way. It's not floating around in the pan. So what we can go and do afterwards is to trim off the bits here that are not at the same height, but don't overdo it. So leave some string in there. It will cut, and we've got something that is nice and tidy. Now it's the same story for the green asparagus. If they're really thin, you don't need really to peel them sometimes. These ones are really fresh and there's a thick skin on there. So same thing. If you want, you can go the other way. Some people like to hold the head here and peel that way to make sure you don't break anything, but it's up to you. Same thing. So you repeat the same. You remove a little bit of the skin, making sure you don't remove the flesh that we're gonna eat, and then we're gonna tie them up again. When you're all done with your asparagus, I've got green and white, you should have something like that, 2 little ballots, 2 little bunch of asparagus that we're gonna plunge in the water that's now ready. Now cooking time for the asparagus, it's usually 20 minutes for the white ones and like 15 minutes for the green ones. So I'm gonna start by putting some of my asparagus, I've got a little bunch here in my water, and I'm going to start counting 20 minutes. In about 5 minutes time, I'll put the green ones to make sure everything is cooked more or less in the same time. Now 5 minutes in, I'm going to plunge my green asparagus in here. And what you can do as well, if you don't want any discoloration of the asparagus, I like to put a few drops of lemon juice in my water. And that's going to ensure that that white colors stays there. So mix the whole lot with the lemon, and we're going to leave this to cook. Alright, so 20 minutes have passed, and I'm going to immediately and very gently try to get these out and put them on a little plate I've got here. Now, an important step when the asparagus are ready, they're just cooked, use very cold water, and we're going to stop the cooking with an icy water. I've got a very cold water from the tap here, so that's enough. And that's going to prevent the color from fading away. We're going to keep that nice green color in for the asparagus. For the plating, is very important. And once they cool down, what you can do is very, very delicately try to put them on a paper towel in another plate. And I'm going to store them in the fridge while we're making the sauce. Now that the asparagus are cooling down, we can start the sauce. It's very easy to make that sauce, and you're going to need like a makeshift double boiler, a little bit of water, like simmering water, and just a bowl that does not touch the water. And you're going to start by putting all of the cream in, immediately followed by an egg yolk. As you will see, it's a very easy sauce. So we're just going to have the sauce to foam here, and immediately after we're going to start adding the butter in. Alright, as soon as we've got a little foam, you take the cold butter, and we're going to put everything in, and very gently we're going to incorporate this. And the whole idea in that sauce is to have everything mixed together and cooked together. So we're just melting the butter, we're emulsifying all at once, and with the heat here, and the sauce is going to start to thicken very slowly. Okay, so after 2 minutes, and the water is almost simmering, this is where it starts to cook the egg, and as you can see here, my sauce starts to really thicken. So this is the sign that it's not going to take much longer, so you keep on whisking until it's a nice thickness, the same as a hollandaise sauce. All done. So as you can see, my sauce is now really thick, and I'm going to add a little bit of the lemon, that's for the acidity, just a few drops first, a tiny bit of of salt and pepper, black pepper, and also a tiny bit of cayenne pepper. You want to go very easy with these flavors, and that's going to give us a nice coating, a nice and thick sauce that is warm and basically now ready to be served with the asparagus. And that is what we call sauce fleurette. And here we are, the asparagus are ready. So what I'm gonna, sorry to use my hand, but this is just a serving suggestion. You can take one of the asparagus here, maybe another one here, put one white and two green. And this is the sauce here that we've got. It has to be kept warm, otherwise it can really get too thick. But just a little bit of sauce here in the middle. Don't want to overdo it. And to decorate, maybe I just, add a few radishes on here. I like to keep it simple. And a little sprinkle of cayenne pepper with a bit of lemon. Now, here's the presentation. Now, to eat this sauce, it has to be eaten warm. So I'm just going to use an extra asparagus on the side and just dip it in the beautiful sauce. And have a taste. It's very velvety. I love the, you can really feel, like the hollandaise, a bit thicker with the cream, but it's like a fluffiness to it, you see? And it goes very well with the asparagus. That's a bit bland, it's just watery. Delicious. If I was you, I would experiment with different flavors, like I put some cayenne pepper. You could try to put some new flavors in there to really have a nice sauce, but honestly, as a one-pot sauce, it's great. But that's it, guys, that completes the recipe of the day. Remember how to make this sauce fleurette, very easy. It's a one-pot recipe, so if you can try it with asparagus, it's great. If you want, you can add a poached egg, a piece of salmon, like always. It's up to you to decide. But if you want to ask me any question about the recipes, as always, do it in the comment section. And if you can, of course, always support me on Patreon, and you can follow me on Instagram. with the hashtag French Cook Academy. That's it from now. I'll see you next time and next recipe. Bye bye.